Coming to Canada as a caregiver remains a valid pathway for you and your family to get your permanent residence in Canada. The Home Childcare Provider Pilot and Home Support Worker Pilot programs were launched by the Government of Canada in June 2019 and is set to close in June 2024. With these pilot programs, you don't need any LMIA, so no labor market impact assessment needed. For your English test, you only need a minimum of 5 band score. You also have the ability to change jobs, and you can bring your family members with you on an open work permit or a study permit. If you know someone in Canada with young children or with a disability, or they need help of some sort in their home, maybe it's time to reach out to them to see if they can actually hire you to come and work for them. I understand there are a lot of YouTube videos about these caregiver pilot programs. However, I can assure you that this is the most detailed video you will find. I have done a presentation covering the requirements in detail. Also, I'm going to show you how you can apply on the canada.ca website, and I've gone further to show you a website where you can actually find these types of jobs. Remember that these caregiver pilot programs are set to close in June 2024. However, the portal will open on January 1st, 2024. So you literally have 5 months to get your documents ready and to put in your application. Make sure you watch this video to the end. It's loaded with a lot of information. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. If you would like to use the services of a trusted immigration lawyer, send me an email at info@thenurseresource.com and let's dive in. The title of today's presentation is the Home Childcare Provider and Home Support Worker Pilot Program. And these pilot programs have been initiated by the Government of Canada to help temporary residents become permanent residents in Canada. This presentation will be done by me. Even though you cannot see my voice, it's Kike, the Nurse Resource, and my email is right there for you. If you have any questions, info@thenurseresource.com. And as always, before we dive in, I am not an immigration consultant. I am not an affiliate of any provincial nursing regulatory body. All this information can be found online, and I need you to stick around till the end of this presentation. I'm going to be showing you a screen recording or a tutorial of everything you need to know about this pilot program from the Government of Canada website. How can I help you? I can help you with your nursing licensure application. I can help connect you with a trusted immigration lawyer in Canada. If you need help to optimize your resume, I can help with that. And also, I can help nurses with their NCLEX RN preparation. Here are some quick facts about the Home Childcare Provider and Home Support Worker pilot programs. They are both 5-year pilot programs, and it's suitable for qualified caregivers and their family members to come to Canada, and the goal is to become permanent residents. Application portal opens January 1st of every year until the pilot program ends. And the amazing thing about this program is that there is no labor market impact assessment needed, no LMIA needed. Online application spots are actually very limited, and they are closed for 2023 at this time. So you might be wondering, why am I sharing this information? I want you to get ready for 2024, because the application portal will open again January 1st, 2024. So you have 5 months to get your documents ready, to get your family prepared to come to Canada. Who is this pathway suitable for? For foreign care workers outside of Canada and those admissible to Canada, for temporary resident permit holders. So if you're already in Canada as a visitor, as a student, on a work permit, this is actually a good pathway for you to get your permanent residence. And also, this pathway is suitable for those who have qualifying work experience, and I'll be sharing all the details you need to know in the next slides. For this pilot program, the most important requirement is a valid job offer. So you need to have a genuine and valid job offer to qualify. If you've been offered a job in Canada as a caregiver or a support worker, or have experience working in Canada in any of these roles, you may be able to apply for your permanent residence through one of these pilot programs. The application process will be different depending on your situation and how much qualifying work experience you have. So, most important requirement, a valid job offer, and also you need that qualifying work experience to qualify. What is qualifying work experience for these pilot programs? You must have worked full-time in Canada at least 30 hours per week minimum as a home childcare provider (NOC 44100), and your main duties as a home childcare provider are to bathe, dress and feed infants and children. You prepare their formulas, you change their diapers if it's infants, you prepare and serve the meals for children, and you may also perform other housekeeping duties as well. You oversee children's activities such as meals and rest periods as instructed by the employer. As a home support worker, you provide personal care and companionship for seniors, persons with disabilities, and convalescent clients. You provide care in their residence or where they may also reside. And you need 12 months of qualifying work experience to be eligible to apply for permanent residence under these pilot programs. There are two categories in this program. Number one is gaining experience category, and that's going to be the focus of this presentation because most of my audience are outside of Canada. Number two is direct to permanent residence category. This is suitable for those in Canada already with 12 months qualifying work experience, and to be honest, it's the same requirements as covered in this presentation. To qualify under the gaining experience category, this means you have never worked full-time as a caregiver in Canada, or you have less than 12 months of qualifying work experience. And the truth of the matter is you can apply for your family as well under this category. The direct to permanent residence category is for those who have already worked in Canada for 12 months as caregivers, and they may be eligible to apply for permanent residence for themselves and their family members. Here is a breakdown of the application process for the gaining experience category. So you apply to either the home child care provider pilot or the home support worker pilot. The thing that is peculiar to these pilot programs is that you submit both a work permit application and a permanent residence application, and you pay the required fees for both applications. Once you're done with that, you get an occupation restricted open work permit to work in Canada temporarily. So the good thing about this is that you can work as a caregiver for any employer. So if you eventually come to Canada on a work permit with a particular employer or a family, right? And maybe you come to Canada and it doesn't work out. The great thing is that you can look for another family or another employer who has or who needs a caregiver or a support worker. Get at least 12 months of eligible work experience in Canada to qualify for permanent residence. Once you get your 12 months of eligible work experience, then send the proof to IRCC. After that, IRCC finalizes the decision on your application for permanent residence. These are the eligibility. Hey friends, if you're getting any value from this video, hit the like button so that other people can see this video as well, and it will help my channel grow. Make sure you share with your family and your friends. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and let's continue. Requirements for the gaining experience category. You need a genuine and valid job offer from a Canadian employer. It has to be full-time, salaried, 30 hours per week outside Quebec, not a business. So you can work for an individual, for a family, but you cannot work at a daycare center or a nursing home. That is not allowed. You have to be qualified. So you need your CPR, so that's the first aid, CPR, basic life support. You need to meet the language requirement as well. That's CLB5 for the English test takers. So Canadian language benchmark minimum of 5, okay? And then you need to meet the education requirements. So you need at least 1 year of post-secondary education to actually be eligible. You must be admissible to Canada. You must plan to live outside the province of Quebec as a permanent resident. The job requirements under this category are as follow. So under the home childcare provider, you must care for children in your own home or in your employer's private home. Like I said earlier, it cannot be in a daycare, and you do not need to live in your employer's home. Under the home support worker job description, you must care for someone who needs help from a home support worker in your employer's private home. It has to be in the employer's private home. And you don't need to live in the employer's home to qualify. But if your employer is willing to arrange for accommodation for you, that's also acceptable. You won't be disqualified for that. Location cannot be in a nursing home. The minimum English requirement is CLB5, so that's the Canadian language benchmark band score of 5 for English. So you have two options. You can either take the CELPIP or the IELTS. Both has to be the general test. Your test results must be less than 2 years old when you apply for these pilot programs. If you are from a French-speaking country, you need to take the French test and not the English test. For English test takers, this is a screenshot of the CELPIP test. So you're taking the CELPIP G test and your English test score for each ability. So under speaking, listening, reading, writing. So it has to be 5 and above. You cannot go below 5, a minimum of 5, which I think is quite reasonable. The same thing applies to the IELTS as well. So you must take the general training test and you have to score 5 and above under English, under listening, reading, writing, and speaking. The education requirement for this pilot program is at least 1 year of post-secondary education in Canada. But it's okay if you do not have any Canadian post-secondary education. What you can do if you don't have a Canadian education is to complete your educational credential assessment. And once you complete your educational credential assessment, it must be equivalent to at least 1 year of post-secondary education in Canada. You have 5 options to get your educational credential assessment completed. So you can choose from any of these designated organizations. You have WES. WES is the most common one, and then ICAS. So there's 5. That's why I have this picture for you to see. So you have 5 options, and then you're required to pay the fees. You're required to submit all the documents needed. Please, when you apply for your assessment, make sure you apply for an ECA for immigration purposes. Okay, make sure it's an ECA for immigration purposes. The great thing about these pilot programs is that you can actually apply for your family members to come with you to Canada. That's pretty awesome. So you can include their work or study permit applications in your permanent residence application, or they can apply separately. That's okay. So if your family members will not be coming with you to Canada, you don't need to submit a temporary resident application for them. If your application is approved, any family members you list as accompanying on your PR application will get permanent resident status with you. So I think that's pretty amazing. So it's something to look into if you have family members as well. So this is how you would apply for the Home Childcare Worker Program and the Home Support Worker Program. Go to Google, type in canada.ca English, and then you're on the website now. This is the official website of Canada, of the government of Canada. Okay, and then go to immigration and citizenship, and then you want to scroll down to immigrate right here. Okay, and now this is the page for those who want to immigrate to Canada. Okay, and then scroll down to caregivers right here. Okay, scroll down to caregivers, and then you continue, you click caregivers, and on this page, so there's a lot of other information for caregiver program. So the one we're interested in is the home child care provider pilot and home support worker pilot. So you click that. So here we are on the official page, right? This is the official page for this program that we've been talking about. Now you want to select this link right here. You may be able to apply for permanent residence through the home child care provider pilot or home support worker pilot if you meet all these requirements, okay? So one good thing that I mentioned is that you don't need an LMIA. Did you see that? Doesn't need an LMIA. Right here, doesn't need an LMIA. So that's really good. Okay, so moving on, you want to click this link. Okay, and like I said, this program is already closed for January, so there's a limit to the number of applications that are accepted. So if you look here in 2023, they accepted 1,650 applications under the gaining experience category, and then 1,100 applications under the direct to permanent residence category. So, however, it's going to open again in 2024. You see that? So it's going to open again. Applications for this category will open again in 2024, right? So I just want you to get prepared for next year, right? So that you can put your application in as soon as it opens, okay? So you want to scroll down, go down on this page. So there's a lot of information. See, I always encourage you guys to go online and research whatever you see online, okay? So go and research it. All this information, they're actually free for you on the canada.ca website. So read everything. Okay, so these are the two categories that are available: gaining experience category and direct to permanent residence category. So this gaining experience category is for those who have less than 12 months of qualifying work experience, and the direct to permanent residence category is for those who have 12 or more months of qualifying work experience, right? So for most of my audience, the gaining experience category is the one that applies to them, this one right here. So what I'm going to do is just focus more on this one. The direct to permanent residence category is straightforward. Once you've had your 12 months or more of qualifying work experience, just put in your application, right? So, but then I'll focus more on this one right here, the gaining experience category. Okay, and this page has all the information that I shared with you, all you need to know about this process, okay? So this is the process. You can read, so you can click each of the sections, okay, to find the information that you're looking for. So number one, about the process. Number two, who can apply? I already shared that with you, so I'm not going to go through all the details again. Number three, I told you about the language test, right? You click that, you see everything about the language test. Number four, get your education assessed. I told you about that. How to apply. Okay, so I'm going to focus more on number five, how to apply. Okay, so let's scroll down. Like I said, it's going to open again in 2024. So you have 6 months, no, yeah, about 5 months actually, to get your documents ready and put in your application, okay? Okay, So this is how to apply right here. Scroll down. So tell us where you're applying from to find out how to apply. Where are you applying from? Are you outside Canada or inside Canada? Because most of my audience are outside Canada, so I'll focus more on outside Canada, okay? And if you're inside Canada, honestly, just click inside Canada and go through the process and the steps. Okay, outside Canada. Here we go. So follow these steps to apply through the Home Childcare Provider Pilot or Home Support Worker Pilot. So this is a step-by-step guide for you, honestly. Step by step. So easy and straightforward. Step 1, get a valid job offer. I already told you about this. You need a genuine and valid job offer before you apply. Okay? And there's a form here that the employer or whoever wants to employ you or hire you has to use. Okay? Okay. So both you and the person who wants to hire you must sign this form by hand. You will upload this form to your online application. Number 2. Step 2, complete your application. You sign in to the PR online application portal account. Create an account for yourself. If you're applying from outside Canada, use the instruction guide for applicants outside Canada under the gaining experience category. So you click this link to get the forms that you need and to apply correctly, okay, to fill the forms correctly. Okay, so that's step 2 for you. Okay, we are still on step 2 actually. You fill out the forms. You fill out some forms online in the portal itself. Some of the other forms you may have to fill out separately, but make sure everything you do, you put in complete information and truthful information. Okay, there are serious consequences if you misinterpret yourself or you leave important information out of your application. You don't want to get in trouble with Canada, guys. You don't want to get in trouble. Okay, moving on. So this is just talking about all the forms that you need to fill for your application. So you need the generic application form for Canada, Schedule A, additional family information, supplementary information. So all of that is there for you. And that is why I'm showing you this. You can do this by yourself, DIY. DIY, guys. Just sit down and find a computer and read through the information, gather your documents before January 2024. Before January 2024, okay? You have like 5 months to go, guys. Okay. So you have all of this. You can fill the form digitally as well, like electronically, okay? And yeah, so that's it for you. And if you want to print them out and upload, you can do that as well. Okay. This is all here for you. If you choose to use an immigration representative, just make sure it's someone who is legitimate. And they will, of course, you have to pay a fee. An immigration representative, I'll show you this information right here. Okay, look at this. An immigration representative, an immigration consultant, or lawyer can give you advice and help you with your application for a fee. For a fee, okay? For a fee. So if you need the help of an immigration lawyer, I can connect you with one who is trusted. Okay? So let me know if you need the help of an immigration lawyer. Let me know, and I will connect you with a trusted Canadian immigration lawyer. Okay, so there you go. This is about your photo specifications right there. Okay, so step 3, pay your application fees. It's not free, guys. Okay, so you still have to pay your application fee. I'll just click here just so you can see the fees. Okay, so it's about 515 Canadian dollars. 515 Canadian dollars right here. Okay, so I'll go back. Okay, we've talked about the fees. Also, you may need to pay for biometrics, right? Study and work permit fees for your family members. If your family members are applying for visitor visas, study permits, or work permits with your application, you need to pay those fees for those as well. You need to pay fees for those as well, right? Okay, moving on. Biometrics, you have to do your biometrics, read all the information. So these are the third party fees that you may need to incur, the expenses. So you have to pay third party fees if you need a medical exam, police certificate, language test, and educational credential assessment, which we talked about already. Okay, so moving on. Step 4, submit your application. That's it, really, guys. That is it. It is so easy and straightforward. So easy and straightforward. So easy and straightforward. I cannot stress that enough. Please go online, look for this information yourself. And if you have any questions, you can drop a comment. But I am not an immigration consultant, okay? If you need the help of an immigration lawyer, I can connect you with a trusted one, right? So, yeah, I hope you really found this helpful. So step 6, after you apply, you can read more information there. Then you have to get your work experience. Remember, for the gaining experience category, you need at least 12 months of qualifying work experience. So you need to get that experience. And then after that, you show the government of Canada, IRCC, that you've gotten your work experience. And then they can decide on your permanent residence. If you don't know anyone in Canada with young children who might need a nanny, or anyone with health challenges who might need a home support worker, another option is to check on this website, canadiannanny.ca. Canadiannanny.ca. That's the website you want to look for. Okay. Type canadiannanny.ca in your browser, and then you may be able to find nanny jobs with visa sponsorship. Okay, so I was able to find two families who need a nanny. So this is the first one right here. Alicia D. They are looking for an experienced nanny, $16 per hour. And this family is in Toronto. This family is in Toronto. Nanny job in Toronto, Ontario. And this is what you're looking for. You're looking for an individual. You're not looking for a business. So you're not going to be working in a daycare center. No, you're not going to be working in a nursing home. You'll be working with these families as an individual, right? So that's how it's going to work. And that's the qualified work experience that Canada requires you to have. So look at this right here. I can provide sponsorship. So this family is willing to provide sponsorship. So that's one option for you. And another one that I found was this family right here, Kayla. So living nanny, she said must be in Canada. However, she's willing to give work permit or sponsorship. So my best guess is if this person does not find anyone in Canada, she might actually be willing to offer a work permit. Okay. She said here she cannot sponsor from overseas as it would take long. But honestly, if she doesn't find anyone, I can guarantee you that she might consider sponsoring someone from overseas. Okay. And another thing is, this opportunity might be perfect for someone who is in Canada as a visitor. So if you're already in Canada as a visitor, this is the type of job you should be looking for. This is the type of job you should be looking for. This person is willing to give you a work permit and sponsorship if you're already in Canada as a visitor. Okay, so you can also reach out to this type of families as well. Um, so yeah, so look at it right here, availability. I can provide sponsorship. So those are the type. I wanted to give you an idea of what you should be looking for, where you can look. But I believe the most I will like the easiest way to get a job offer is to find I like if you can find someone who is already living in Canada, someone who has children, okay, someone who has children, someone who has a health challenge that you can reach out to and say, you know what, I'm willing to come and help you out. It has to be a valid job offer. I've showed you the process already. It has to be a valid job offer. So you want to reach out to people like that and tell them, I'm willing to do this. Are you willing to sponsor me to Canada? Okay.